Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to an SP Reacts, where today we got ourselves a track from an act named Chi Yu, titled Vincent. And if we switch over to here, we got ourselves a track on the screen, the Singer 2024 Peak Night Chi Yu's Vincent. I have been requested to check this out by Gaga Kuo, so that's cool. Good to listen through this track from start till finish. We're gonna hear what we think. Let's do it, let's go, what have we got?
Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Shadows on the hills, sketch the trees and the daffodils. Catch the breeze in the winter chills, in colors on the snowy linen land.
Effortless vibrato.
Now I understand what you try to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how. Perhaps they'll listen now. Starry, starry night, flaming flowers that brightly blaze, swirling clouds in violet haze.
Beautiful imagery with the lyrics.
In Vincent's eyes of china blue, colors changing hue, morning fields of amber grain, weathered faces lined in pain are soothed beneath the artist's loving hand. Now I understand what you try to say to me, how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they did not know how.
Interesting meter and cadence there.
Perhaps they'll listen now, for they could not love you, but still your love was true. And when no hope was left inside on that starry, starry night, you took your life as lovers often do. But I could have told you, Vincent, this world was never meant for one as beautiful as you. Starry, starry night.
Is this a reference to Vincent van Gogh?
Portraits hung in empty halls, frameless heads on nameless walls, with eyes that watch the world and can't forget, like the strangers that you've met, the ragged man in ragged clothes, the silver thorn of bloody rose, like crushed and broken on the virgin snow. Now I think I know what you try to say to me, and how you suffered for your sanity, and how you tried to set them free. They would not listen, they're not listening still. Perhaps they never will.
Good rise there. Fantastic vocal technique. My understanding is that Chiyu, if I'm not mistaken, was 66 years old when they sang this, and I think that their voice is timeless, got great vocal technique, and it was a wonderful performance of this track. But we're going to talk about it more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Chiyu, their performance of the song titled Vincent. In this section, we're going to provide an overall song analysis of everything from lyrics and vocals all the way through to studio production, as well as any applicable constructive critique, and then finally my general thoughts from a listener's perspective. But before we go any further, what do we think this track is about? I would say that this track is about Vincent van Gogh. There are a lot of mentions within the lyrics of portraits in Andy Hall's The Blue Eyes, which I remember from a self-portrait of Vincent van Gogh, if I'm not mistaken. The Starry Nights, of course, a reference to one of Van Gogh's famous paintings. You've also got the other wonderful, beautiful sort of descriptions of the painting, the work that they did, but also of the fact that, like, we tried to communicate with our art and just people just really couldn't listen to it. That could be like an analogy or like a comparison to maybe the beauty of nature and people continuing to ignore it, or maybe to not really appreciate art for what it is. I'm not quite sure, but either way, what I kind of appreciate is how they communicate with the listener. They've got wonderful vocal technique. She's very good. Head, chest, voice, great vibrato, effortless legato, very smooth between the notes, incredibly expressive as well, despite how much the compression there is on the vocals within this performance. We're very, very adept at handling ourselves and emoting in a way that seems appropriate for the subject matter. It seems like a very sincere, authentic performance from Chiyu as well. Like, they are genuinely sort of feeling the words that they are singing there. They have great stage presence, and ultimately they show a stylistic response that seems appropriate with the other instruments that we've got surrounding us within the stereo field and freq spectrum of this piece. If we go back to the start of the track there, around 12 seconds into this live performance, you've got this wonderful sort of free tempo guitar, these arpeggiated chords there, and the finger style is just such a gentle, holistic kind of approach to it that handles the bass and higher notes as well in a way where you don't really need more. It's just enough for Chiyu to kind of play alongside. And as we kind of go through these different chords and play around with some extensions, never any sort of uncomfortable moments there, most of it diatonic. Even if there are occasional chromatics, they're very sort of soulful and very sort of pretty sounding. And as we have the flutes and the woodwinds coming closer to that minute mark there, we just have the mids to upper ranges well decorated there. Again, more very sort of like soft textures that play into the existing scales and progressions within the piece and create a very sort of mesmerizing, sort of like dreamlike performance. And as the strings come in as well, as we go further into it, we have this kind of staircase occurring, but it's a very gradual staircase, almost like an escalator. Just, it's very sort of like relaxing to listen to because of how beautiful the strings sound within their section, the sort of romanticism that they elicit from their appearance within the piece, and how neatly they go alongside the guitar and flute, almost orchestral elements of the track. And I think these individual textures and tones between the flutes, between the strings and between the guitars with their individual strengths, for example, the attack or the kind of tone and clarity of the guitars, the longer form sort of factor of the flutes, the dynamic range and the rises of the strings, it's all wonderful. And we have bell trees and other little kind of jingly bits as we go through the piece and continue to add more and more as we go along to appreciate it. Primarily, I think that's just simply to keep people's attention instrumentally as we listen to Chiyu speak their truth. As we go into some of those cymbal shimmers around the 305 mark, what I kind of appreciate is that we are exploring more of a conversation with Chiyu, with Vincent, and I like the fact that as Chiyu sort of like looks forward, they're very intently focused on this. And in some tracks you might need more than strings and back guitar and flutes and such, but we don't really need that within us. The cymbal percussive shimmers are enough for accents. There are moments of pause and respite, such as 244 as well. We simply are there just sort of to appreciate some of the notes that are sung, and there's adjustments of meter as we go through it. Like, I do like the fact that the guitars arpeggiate neatly within diatonics and sort of chord progressions that the strings play along to, and that they do different rhythms, and they have variations of their intensity in terms of loudness, and then we don't just get everything at once. And I like the fact that, again, with some of the adjustments of cadence, such as in those chorus sections, they're kind of switching out a bar to go into the next one to follow the lyrics more closely, that we have the other instruments like the flutes come in and sort of call and respond a bit more differently each time, as well as like different notes and bass lines. We have several different ideas that are peppered throughout this, and they transition seamlessly because of how smooth it is. But I think again the free-flowing kind of tempo there, trying not to be too militant about it being almost like metronomic, is nice because it makes it more seem like you're walking through the story that Chiyu is telling. Like it's not a sprint, it's like a wander, you know? And again, as we get to the end of the piece, we have that wonderful vibrato, that higher note from Chiyu. I genuinely feel like we explored our range neatly. We didn't ever overextend. And, you know, if you'd done more with this, it probably would have been too much. I feel like it's a kind of very dulcet affair. The use of these different bass lines and chord progressions without being too blunt with the bass or the sort of rhythmic elements of it outside of the harmonic elements. It simply is meant to sort of be very kind of light and flighty and not too sort of like dark or dreary there. But it's also meant to pack an emotional punch in the sense that I think that if you'd sort of stuck with predominantly triads, it just would have sounded a little bit too basic. You know, we have that vibrato warmth from Chiyu's vocals to elicit make you feel a certain way they want you to. But it's equally importantly about sort of like articulating certain notes outside of those triads or note choices in order to be able to sort of add a bit of emotional complexity occasionally, or a tiny little bit of zest so that it's not too milquetoast. Yeah, it sounds like a Disney soundtrack, honestly. It's pretty. It kind of reminds me of what we're talking about with the lyrics and the vocal style itself. Things are well connected stylistically and in terms of the impressions and stuff we have, and ultimately it's just the studio recording, mixing and mastering there. Things are quite well leveled within a stereo field, you know, sides, left, right headphones, as well as the frequency spectrum. There's no weird resonant frequencies. The vocals have a great presence in the mix. They aren't overproduced. Chiyu can just clearly sing. And I think as a solo vocalist, we didn't need anything else going on there. It was simply enough to have the strings, the guitar, and the flutes there, the woodwinds. That's all we needed, as well as the cymbal shimmers occasionally as well, and the bell trees and all that. So ultimately, there was dynamic range, like a little bit. It was a commercial broadcast, so it was still kind of squeezed, you know, but bus compression limiting is handled, and ultimately there's no applicable constructive critique from me. From a final general listener's perspective, I just think that for anyone watching this who is wondering if you ever, and I mean this in a kind way, again, being 66, there are people that I've taught music to who feel around that age that they cannot do that. And I feel that no matter what age you are, it is possible to get into music. I've taught people in their 80s, you know, percussion and stuff like that. You can do it. So if you're watching this and you're feeling inspired by Chiyu, I would recommend exploring your options. And I wish you the best of luck with your new musical journey. But thank you for watching my review of this track from an act named Chiyu. They're the performance of the song titled Vincent Offer the Singer 2024 competition. Again, recommended to me by Gaga Kuo. Thank you for that. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go show them some love via the various social medias and the YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as you need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next SP Reacts. Spiderhands out.